Hi, my name's Rhys from the Eastern Suburbs School of Music. Today teaching you how to play the guitar solo out of the Kiss song Deuce, an Ace Frehley signature guitar solo. Plenty of his great licks and tricks to be found in this one. It sounds like this. So I'll break that down phrase by phrase now. Do pause the video, learn each individual phrase and eventually put it all together. Let's start up with phrase number 1 right now. So I do have my guitar tuned down a half step, or flat tuning as it's known, just like Kiss does on all their recordings. So this E is tuned to an E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat and E flat. Playing along with the Kiss recordings, you will need to do that unless you change the pitch with some software that you can use. A scale you should get familiar with as well before you start learning this solo is the pentatonic scale shape, starting on the 6th string. We do have a video on this channel, the Eastern Suburbs School of Music YouTube channel. A little video card will probably be just above my head now that will take you to that video. Learn that scale shape to assist you in learning this guitar solo out of Deuce. So here's phrase number 1. Great opening phrase. A little bit of Chuck Berry in there with the string bends. And that technique at the end is called a trill, something that Black Sabbath guitarist Tony Iommi does a lot of in his solos. So, using notes out of this pentatonic scale that starts at 5th fret, the A. And I'm placing a 1st finger on the 5th fret of 2nd string. Then putting 3rd finger at the same time on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. On that 3rd string as well, I'll place my 2nd finger to help perform the string bend. If you haven't done string bends before, once again, we've got an instructional video on this channel. Just click the card that'll be above me right now to take you to a lesson on how to do proper string bends, something that Ace Frehley does a lot of. You should familiarise yourself with that technique. So I'm bending the 3rd string and also striking the 2nd string at the same time, bending it by what we call a tone. So you might see that on tab with the word full, an arrow up coming out of the tab number with full, or a number 1 on top of the arrow. That does mean a 1-tone bend. We're bending the string until it sounds like a note that would be 2 frets higher. So hitting the note at 7, but bending it until it sounds like the note that's found at 9 on the 3rd string. So a way to practice pushing the string far enough to get the right pitch is hit that 9th fret a lot. That's 9th fret of 3rd string. Return to your bending position, 7th fret on the 3rd string. And the 2 fingers push together until you hit that same exact pitch. And you'll do that 3 times to start off the solo of Deuce. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're just bending the 3rd string by itself, up and down, so bending and returning. Doing that 3 times. So we get 2 strings together, 1, 2, 3, where we don't return the bend, and then bend and return by just hitting 3rd string. 1, 2, 3, 1, that is the first part of phrase 1. Take some time just to get that under your fingers. Next, we do a Chuck Berry lick. One of the great 50s rock and roll style licks. I call it a Chuck Berry lick because you hear it a lot in his recordings, but certainly all rock guitarists have used it from that point on. I'm bending 3rd string 7th fret, once again by a tone, and then using my first finger to flatten out and cover fret 5 and fret 5 of string 2 and string 1. And I repeat that. And then finish this part with a bend at 7th fret of 3rd string. So 2 Chuck Berry licks, and then just a single 7th fret bend, 3rd string. The last part of phrase 1 is this trill I talked about. A trill is when you do a series of very fast hammer-ons and pull-offs. And the fret that I'm doing that at is the 5th fret with my first finger, the 7th fret with my 3rd finger, only picking once, but very quickly flicking my 3rd finger on and off, hammering on and pulling off. When you do come off the string, just give it a little flick. So let me play that phrase 1 in full. We then just repeat that, and we've completed phrase 1. So let me play it once again. And repeat. A great intro to this solo. Phrase number 2 of the Deuce solo. We're going to move up into major pentatonic now. A little trick that Ace probably picked up from Eric Clapton. We are moving up into the 10th and 12th fret area. So this little shape that I'd like to show you that will give you those major pentatonic notes. Start with your middle finger, going to 11th fret of the 3rd string. So if you've got some double dots, 2 dots that signal your 12th fret on your guitar, use that as a guide. And you're going just one before that on 3rd string, 11th fret. Then on string 2 and 1, this pattern of notes. Fret numbers 10 and 12, then fret numbers 10 and 12. And this is the little box pattern where Ace is about to get the notes for this second phrase of the Deuce solo. So the way that Ace uses it, so let's look at that, what I just played. I'm at the 11th fret of that 3rd string, then moving to 10th fret of 2nd string. So going slide into 11, 10, 11, 10. 11, 10 on 2nd string, 11 on 3rd, 10 on 2nd. Then I move down to string number 1 at those double dots, 12th fret, and do a string bend. And Ace puts some vibrato on this string bend as well. He bends it again without vibrato the second time. A hammer-on and pull-off lick follows that. So we've got so far 2 parts, your 11s and 10s, your bends, and do it again. I'm on first string, 10, 12, 10, and I'm hammering on the 12 and pulling off to the 10. If you don't know what hammer on and pull off is, once again, videos on this channel. Just click the tabs that'll be appearing above me and you'll see what those techniques mean. And then from there he moves back into the minor pentatonic. So that's major pentatonic, moving back into minor pentatonic. These are scale names. Get familiar with them, just Google them or look up some videos on this channel to help you understand what those scales are. So I've moved back to the 8th fret, still on the first string, 8th fret, 10th fret, and then 8th fret. 8, 10, 8 is the part that I've added. Following this, so 2 notes being used here, 8th fret on the first string, 10th fret on the second string. 10, 8, 8, 10, 8, 8. This follows with a 3 frets in a row. 10th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret on string number 1. And so therefore I'm going finger number 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And they're pull-offs as well. I only strike the string at the 10th fret note and then pull off to the 9, 8, 10, 9, 8. And we repeat that pull-off sequence 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Five times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will end phrase number 2. Fair bit of information in that, so make sure you pause this video, watch it back a few times, just build it up little parts at a time, and you'll be playing it before you know it. This third phrase from the guitar solo of Deuce by Kiss, a string bending phrase. We're using minor pentatonic, but focus on this little pattern. Fret numbers 8, 9, and 10. Now I'm going to start on 9 of string 3 with my middle finger, and then 8, 10 on second string, 8, 10 on first string. Play that little shape a few times, get it under your fingers, as Ace is about to strictly use notes out of this little box pattern. They are minor pentatonic notes, so it's a nice addition to your 6 string pattern. What Ace is doing here then. The first part of phrase 3. He's bending at the 10th fret twice, and then a hammer on and pull off lick through the scale. Bend, bend at 10, and then we get 8, 10, 8. Ten on the second string, back to 8 on the first string. Bend, bend, first string, 8, 10, 8, second string 10, first string 8. And that's the first section of phrase number 3. Pause it, get this under your fingers before we move on to the next part. Part number 2. It's the perfect answer to part 1, where we bent and then had a scale run lick. The bend here though is interesting. We're bending more than a tone. It's a tone and a half bend, which would mean the note that we're trying to bend to the pitch of, the sound of, is actually 3 frets away from where our fingers place. So the 13th fret note of your second string, make sure you play that a lot, get that in your ears, and you've got to push that string until you get to the pitch of that 13th fret note. So therefore, make sure you got lots of fingers in support. I've got all 3 fingers pushing together to help me find that pitch. And then the hammer on and pull off lick this time. On second string, 8, 10, 8, 9, 8. So bend, bend, second string, 8, 10, 8, 9 on third, 8 on second. Putting that together with part 1 now. So really clever use of rhythm. Each part has exactly the same rhythm, that the complement. And that will end phrase number 3. Really be precise with your bends and get that little shape under your fingers to greatly help you out with this phrase. Phrase number 4 from the Deuce solo. This is a great outro run, a really well composed solo. It sounds like this, phrase number 4. So some cool scale runs and a bit of chromatics also included for this phrase number 4. Where I'm starting is on string 2, fret 10 and 8, and I'm doing a pull off. Then I jump up to string number 3, fret numbers 9 and 7, and you might have dots on your guitar that help you find those frets easy. 9, 7, pull off. Then move back, still on the 3rd string, a pull off at 7 and 5. 2nd string, 10, 8, 3rd string, 9, 7, 3rd string again, 7, 5. And then jumping up to 4th string, 7 and 5, pull off. All minor pentatonic scale notes. So if you've learnt those patterns, it'll be a little easier to see why this lick is working. That's part 1 of this last phrase, phrase 4. Pause the video at this moment, get that part under your fingers, also in your ears, before we look at the second part of this phrase and finish off the solo. So, for the last part of the solo, a great chromatic run back through the scale. So he goes back to that second string and plays the frets 10, 8, and then goes to 9 on the third string. And this part of the phrase 4, you can put it in groups of 3 notes at a time. 1, 2, 3. That was fret numbers. Second string, 10, 8, 9 on third string. The next 3 notes, all on third string. 8, 7, and 5. Getting a nice blues scale note in there. So the first 3 notes. Second 3 notes. Once again, pause this video, make sure you get that part of the phrase started. The next set of notes, nice little pattern here. 4th string, fret numbers 7, 6, 5, and then exactly the same thing on 5th string, 7, 6, 5. And the very last note in the solo, ending up at the 3rd fret of 5th string, the C note. That links in with the riff that they're about to play for the chorus. So, this second part of phrase 4. Hear those bunches of 3 notes at a time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Putting together all of phrase 4, our pull-off part, and then our chromatic part. And that completes all of the solo of Deuce. Good luck learning it. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment on this video. If you've learnt something, hit that thumbs up button to give this video a like, and subscribe to the Eastern Suburbs School of Music channel. We've got a lot of Kiss guitar solos on our channel, some great instructional videos, and also the lead guitar techniques that Ace is using in all his solos as well. Great playing.